Hello, it is Saturday, February 20th, 2021, and today we are going to be doing some game development for the Games Plus jam. But I know what you were thinking. You woke up this morning and you were thinking, wow, today's going to be a boring day. I don't know what I'm going to do at 11 a.m. because today is a Saturday, and Red Plus Blue doesn't stream on Saturdays. Well, they do, but not at 11. But I got you covered. We're doing sort of an earlier stream right now, and I am trying to find the project. There it is. A random project just appeared for no reason in my Unity thing. So while Unity loads up, I'm going to continue with this. But yeah, so there we go. There we go. Okay, and the camera's working. Yes, everything's working. But yeah, I know what you were thinking. Today you're like, I'm going to be bored at 11 a.m. Really don't know what I'm going to do. So I decided to stream today. It's mostly because I just want to work on this some more. I have worked on it a little bit since we last left off. So if you saw last stream, what you'll notice is that the missiles actually appear under the wings now. Also, this leaves a trail, not a very great trail. There's an engine particle effect. I did change the plane graphic to make it slightly simpler. And also, whenever you launch missiles, the indicator's a little bit better. I need to actually fix this a little bit more. But as you can see, the missiles will alternate, and they will head towards the target. What we need to do is we need to not show the indicator we need to basically not show the indicator all the time. That just needs to be temporary. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for a couple seconds, or maybe until the missile reaches it. Yeah, I don't know, we'll have to figure that out. But I also want it to tilt and change color a little bit. Also, it does look kind of weird that it does look kind of weird where it is, or how it does that. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't look like it's stationary, even though it technically is. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna deal with that, but we will. But yeah, that's what we need to do today. So the first thing. Oh, seriously, more of this? You guys just keep adding bots for me to ban. I don't know why you keep doing that. Let's see. This just takes a little bit of time. Alright, give me 1 second. Sorry about the people on the recording. Basically, just a bot decided to do something stupid. So let's see. I think this is a bot account. Sure. Posted a link by subscribers, I think. Subscribers? Yes. Alright. Cool. Alright. Yeah, if people are just going to keep creating bots for me to ban, that's fine. I'll keep doing it. But yeah, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to get the indicator stuff working correctly. And yeah, later on today we are doing the politics stuff. So that will be at, I think it's 1:30 Central, or no, 1:30 my time, 1:30 Eastern. So we got a couple hours. Plan is to do this for 2 hours, and then I will take a short, well, probably an hour and a half then, and then I'll have to take a little bit of a break. But yeah, the indicator, it has a small little pulse script on it. It basically just pulses in the X and Y axis, about 50% magnitude, and basically 8 times. I think it's like once every couple seconds, or no, sorry, it's multiple times a second, or no, it is once every, it's that fast, so I think it's about once a second, roughly. What we need to do is we did something like this in our previous game with the indicator. It's in the, I think it's in the player controller component, because that's what controls the missile firing. But yeah, basically we need to, yeah, we have the indicator here. So we need to change, or not change, but we need to add an indicator prefab. So say public game object, indicator, or let's say missile target prefab. And then we'll just have the missile target. Let's call it the missile target, and we will change this to be a protected game object. Okay, missile target prefab. So on awake, say that the missile target, or this won't be the prefab, this will just be the missile target. So we'll have the missile target will be equal to the missile target, or we want to instantiate it, so we do that with instantiate. We'll say missile target. Instantiate the missile target prefab, we'll instantiate that at vector 3.0, or no, at the transform.position. And then we'll use quaternion.identity, which is basically the 0 of rotation, the 0, 0, 0 of rotations. And so with that, we will say that the missile target, set the missile target to be inactive. That way it's invisible. Okay, and so what we want to do is when we fire a missile, we want to say that the indicator, missile target.transform.position, is equal to that. Actually, what we want to do is we want to have a protected void spawn target, and we actually just want to create a new target at a position. We don't want to bother with keeping track of this one. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of all this. Then, oh no, I don't have that copied. All right, say that in spawn target we're going to need a position. We're going to need to know where to spawn the target. So we're going to say position, which is going to be a vector 3. And we're going to say var target is equal to instantiate the missile, it's the target prefab, missile target prefab. We're going to instantiate that at position and then at quaternion.identity. And so after that, we're going to say, I guess we'll just say game object, or no, sorry, not game object, we'll say destroy. Hey, how's it going? What do you mean, crashed? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by crashed. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what you mean. Is the stream having issues? I do have it in slow mode, if you're wondering about that. That's just because I can't, while I'm programming, I can't respond to a ton of things at once. So I'd prefer that people don't, you know, spam the chat with a bunch of messages and just do it once every 10 seconds or so. If I have that, I thought I had that at 10 seconds. I do, yeah, okay. Say target.transform.position, whoops, nope, we don't need to do any of that. We basically just need to spawn that and then say destroy the target at, I don't know, 2 seconds. And that should be fine. Yeah, I think that will cause it to destroy in 2 seconds. Oh, we do need to call spawn target at the target position, basically. Yeah, that should be fine. Target actually might be, no, we don't want to do it there. We want to do a new vector 3. We want to do it at the target.x, target.x, the transform.position.y, because we want it at our height. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, you had me worried for a second. I know that OBS does crash every once in a while, like it will not be streaming correctly, but maybe it could also be Twitch. Yeah, because I've seen cases where Twitch will tell me that it is streaming and not be streaming, and I've also seen cases where like OBS will disconnect. But yeah. Yeah, if it keeps up, tell me and I'll try to refresh something. I think that will work. No it won't because, oh no it will. I think that'll work. Let's see if this actually does what I think it'll do. We do need to get rid of this. This is the target, or the missile target. And then we need to get rid of this. This will just be the model. Okay. can set that as a prefab. And then I think we need to go into the actual player jet prefab. And what did I just do? I did this, the missile target. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I thought I deleted you. Did I not delete that? I thought I deleted you. Nope, nope, that's not what I meant to hit at all. Alright, let's do that. Okay, so now, left click does that. If I right click, we'll get that. It should destroy that. That's a long 2 seconds. Okay, I guess that's a okay 2 seconds. I don't know. We'll have to set up like a fade for it. Okay. I also want it to spin a little bit. So I'm going to add a spin component. And we will set this to be private void update. This will be a public float speed. I guess we'll say at 1.0f. I don't know. Actually, this is going to be, I think 45 is what we'll need, because I think the angular speed is always kind of weird. Then we just, in update, we just need to say transform.rotation. Actually, what we want to do is we want to do public bool x, public bool y, public bool z. We can fix this a bit later. So we can say, or actually no, we'll have this public private void awake. We'll just create the rotation, or actually we can't. No, we can't create the rotation at that time. It has to actually be at runtime. Say quaternion.euler. It will be x. So basically, if we're doing x, then we want 0.0f. No, sorry, if x is set, we want 1.0f. Or no, we want speed, actually. Otherwise, we want 0. And we want that times, so that speed times time.delta time, delta time. Yep. And then this will be x, y, and z. Say y and z. Basically, this will just let us control the axes independently rather than having to modify the script each time. Okay. And then we'll also have a fade script. Fade component, sorry. Need to get my naming conventions right. Actually, I need the update. So this will be private void update. And I think I used a, what did I use for the target? Did I use a sprite renderer or did I use a quad? I thought it was a quad, but I could be wrong. What did I use for the target? I used a sprite renderer. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? So what we will do is we'll have a public sprite renderer. Sprite renderer. Have a public full float, I guess, fade duration. Or no, just duration. So this will just cause it to fade out, basically. And we'll set that to 1 second. And then on the update, I think we need to, why not using an animation component? I could use an animation component, that's true. I just don't like the Unity animation stuff. I think it's a bit, it's possible to do it with that. I think it's just a little bit overkill. I just tend to like scripts, but like for more complex stuff, I do use animations, like for idle animations and stuff. But for simple like fades and stuff, where you might want to control the duration, well, actually, I guess you can do the animation stuff programmatically. I don't know, it's just a bunch of extra, like to me, it's a bunch of extra steps, and you also have to make sure that the animation, like, I don't know, the animation stuff was just never that modular from what I saw. Like you had to make it, yeah. You had to make it based on like an animator, and yeah. I think there is some stuff in this that I'll probably use animation for, because animation you know, it is really handy when you want to control like 50 things at once. But yeah. Oh, what am I trying to do? I think I'm trying to do, is it mathapp.lerp? Yeah, lerp, okay. Because what I want to do is, well, there's a couple ways I could do this. But I think what I want to do, it's protected float end time. Yeah, sure, that'll work. The end time will be time.time plus duration. And so I want to lerp the alpha. So say var alpha from the sprite renderer renderer.color, or no, I'm sorry. I'm going to lerp the alpha from 1 to 0, the time being time.time minus end time, no, end time minus time.time. Time minus time.time. And I think that needs to be scaled by the duration, or descaled by the duration. Something like that, and that should give us a float between 0 and 1. Because this is the bigger number divided by, or sorry, this is the smaller number divided by the bigger number, yeah. For some reason I think that's wrong, but I don't know, might be right. Say sprite renderer.color equals new color. Actually, can you change? I don't think you can change the alpha, right? No, you can't. Or wait, it doesn't say equals alpha. Can you change? No, you can't because it's a struct. All right, fair enough. Color of, I guess, sprite renderer.color.rgb. Whoops, no. Renderer.color. Feels wasteful to create like a new color every single frame, but I don't know if there's any way around it. So that's the RGB. I think it's .r.g.b, and then we use the alpha. Okay. So yeah, it's RGBA. Okay, perfect. And I think that's right. Let us see. Actually, what we'll say is if time.time greater than end time, then we just return. Basically, we just don't want to do anything after the end time. Okay. So now, if I add a sort of spin component and a fade component, and then we just set that to this sprite renderer, say a duration of 2, and then we want to spin this across what? The y-axis? Yeah, all right. So in theory, that should work. Nope, okay, I did something wrong. Okay, I need to double check. I want to see if that actually destroyed it at 1 second. So the target, where is it? Is it just spawned somewhere where I can't see it? Is that what happened? No. I think I got something wrong. What did I get wrong? Possibly it's the fade component. Let's see. Yeah, the fade component's messed up. Okay. So let us then just deactivate that and see if we get the spin stuff right. Okay. Yes, okay, so the spin stuff works, it's just the fade stuff that doesn't. Alright. Done something wrong. Okay, so we want to lerp between 1.0 and 0.f by... Oh, is it 1.0 minus? No, it's not. Is it? Oh, jeez, what am I doing? No, it might be 1 minus this, because we might want to lerp backwards. Is that what it is? We want to lerp backwards? Or would it be 0 to 1 and we just lerp? Whoops, I need to actually Need to actually activate this. Okay. Okay, that's just not working. That's fair. So, okay, actually, we can lerp backwards. That's fine. That might work. But I thought linear interpolate worked. No? Okay. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing wrong. Clearly something. Okay, so the alpha linearly interpolates. Should this not be divided by 1? Am I just not? Alright. Let's just log the alpha and see what we get. Remove time.delta time. Oh, you're right. It's not time.delta time. You're right. It's time.time. That's what I did wrong. Stupid IntelliSense. It's intelligent until... Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, the fade needs to be a bit faster, but I like it. Actually, no, maybe it doesn't. Okay, yeah, thank you. You're right. IntelliSense just, you know, messing me up, of course. Set the fade. Maybe have that be at 1 second, not 2. No, maybe 1.5. That'll be fine. All right, and so what we need to do is we need to check in here if it actually fires. Then we spawn the target. Otherwise, we don't. Okay. Yeah, this should spawn a target, that should spawn a target, but this won't anymore. Okay, I like that. Okay, you gotta do something about the bullets, but missiles at least work. So now I need to actually make the missiles a little bit better. So that's 0.01F. That's actually maybe like that. No, it's probably fine. 0.05 is probably fine. Just half the distance. And the rotation speed probably needs to be closer to like 210. I know I need to move those into variables, but you know, one thing at a time. Okay. So that's slightly better now. I can't remember if the missiles, no they can't, okay. I was gonna say, I can't remember if they can get caught in an infinite loop. They don't seem to be exploding instantly though. If the distance between transform deposition and target is that, less than 0.1. Let's see if these are actually dying because of explosions or if they're just getting removed. Alright. I thought they were exploding, but maybe they're just getting removed. Oh no, they explode. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Yeah, they seem to look like they're missing the target, but I guess not. Maybe that's like the 3D sort of effect. Okay, so we do need to create some kind of explosion effect. Hold on. Things are happening. Hey Reaper, how's it going? Sucks that making a game is nowhere near as easy as orc weaponry. Yeah, well, if you made a game like the orcs make weapons, it would probably blow your computer up. Games would probably be very deadly and unstable. They'd be like games in the 90s where, you know, they're not even games in the 90s, like games in the 80s or maybe even 70s where if you just did something wrong, your computer would crash. And it would corrupt all your open files. Be really bad. Actually, no. Early games were exactly like orc weaponry. Like making games in, you know, like C is exactly like orc weaponry. Just destroy everything. It's pretty crazy. Like I went back and looked at like the original NetHack code, and like I can't even understand half of it. And like I was taking a class in C at the time. I was like, I should be able to read this, but I can't. It's pretty bad. Like there's some stuff that I had never even heard of before. Like apparently there used to be, there might still be, but there used to be like a keyword in C apparently that would recommend that the computer keep something in a registry as opposed to like on the stack. But apparently that's no longer a thing. It would work perfectly since their codes literally run off belief that they do. Yeah. Well, sometimes I feel like my code only runs off the belief that it does. Maybe that's why it works perfectly. Yeah, spawn target and destroy in 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I always thought that was pretty funny about the orcs, is that they were like, you know, they have like this sort of spiritual component to them where just them believing things makes it true. It's like the only thing. I remember something like volatile in C++. Oh yeah, and I had no idea what it did. I want to say volatile had like, didn't that sound like it's for threads or something? But like the keyword that I'm thinking of, I think it's like internal or something, or it's not internal, it's like, might be just called register or something. But what it does is it tells the compiler that it should write the code in such a way that it loads this in a register, as opposed to like, or like it would recommend to the compiler that it would try to keep something in a register as opposed to trying to keep it on the stack. It was something really weird like that. It was like an optimization thing, but the compiler was like completely free to ignore it. It was just so weird. The power of code compels you. Yes. I genuinely do sometimes think that that's the only thing that keeps my code running, is just the, you know, it's the fact that it does, or just the fact that I, you know, hope that it does. Actually, with this, what I want to do is I think whenever I create this in the missile weapon, I think I set it to be destroyed after a certain amount of time. Destroying the placeholder. But no, we actually don't. I don't like that. I want to destroy the projectile.gameObject after duration of 4 seconds, regardless of what happens. So the missile is private void on destroy, and with that I actually just want to do the explode stuff. So it should explode no matter what happens. And here we actually just want to destroy the game object. So no. Okay. Yeah. So either we destroy ourselves when we get too close to the target, or we destroy ourselves after a preset delay. And then whenever we, basically however we get destroyed, we just explode. Do I like that? No, I don't. Because the problem with that is that whenever the scene unloads, it automatically destroys, which I don't want, or it automatically detonates, which I don't want to happen. So actually, I want to create a protected float, I guess detonate time? Yeah, sure. Say if time.time greater than the detonate time, then we just explode no matter what, and then we return automatically. Okay, and then exploding destroys us. There we go. That way, when it explodes, it's basically guaranteed to die at some point. And then on awake, we'll just say the detonate time is equal to time plus public game, or not game object, public float duration, or not duration, but like Detonate timer. I don't know. Sure. I don't know what they call it normally. Sure, it'll be 4 seconds. That'll just be like that. Okay. And then that way, every time greater than the detonate time, then we just detonate. There we go. And that should guarantee that we're always destroyed. So now, regardless of where, if we shoot too close, oh no, okay, never mind. We shoot there. Okay. Hey, how's it going, One Shot? How you doing? Just working on a game for the, I think it's the Games Plus Jam, I think that's what it's called. But yeah. Been doing a little bit of work on that. We do have the politics stream later today at like 1:30 Eastern, or no, 1:30 Central. I always screw that up. I always forget that I'm on Eastern time, or I'm on Central time. I mean to say Eastern, I mean to say Central, but I say Eastern. In Texas, we finally have, like, the snow is finally melted, and there's, like, people are finally on the road. Doing good. Have you tried the VR test? No, I haven't. I have intended to, but I've had stuff to do, unfortunately. Sorry. I'll probably do that later today, actually. So, like, I'll make a Discord and everything, and I'll be able to test some stuff. Or I'll be able to try the VR stuff. Yeah, sorry. I kind of want to trying to get the game jam, or I was trying to get the game jam stuff working this morning. Like, I was trying to get like some tilting for this, but some weird things happen when I actually try to tilt it. Like, it's weird. Like, if you look at the actual angles, because I would expect that the Y angle would cause it to like tilt on the Y axis, but it doesn't. It actually causes it to rotate on the X axis, which, well, it's not, sorry, not the X axis, sorry. That's actually exactly what I would expect. But if I tilt on the Z axis, it rotates on the Y axis. And I'm not entirely sure why it does that. It's like super weird and I don't fully understand. But if I actually try to rotate on the Y, what I end up getting is the rotations go to 90, which is really weird, but sure. And then, yeah, so trying to rotate both of these axes just causes both of them to go crazy. So there's like no sane way to do this. And I don't want to rotate the entire thing itself, because that would cause issues. But yeah, so I spent too much time this morning trying to do that. And then, yeah, I know, it's like super weird. I think it has something to do with like the local rotation and whatnot. If I can undo this. So I think I'm rotating, whoops. I think I'm rotating like the actual base model here. Yeah, doing that. So whenever you rotate like that way, it looks weird. I don't know. I don't understand it, but I'll probably figure it out later or something. So the way that I'm doing the rotation now is I'm rotating across an axis. So I might be able to do that with the model. I might be able to rotate across the Z-axis, but I'd have to do some thinking about how that will actually work, and I just wanted to move on to other things. So that's what I was doing this morning. And yeah, I had intended to get some music for this, but I just hadn't. So yeah, that's another thing I want to do. But my goal is to get some explosion stuff happening today, because I want to go here, and I actually want to make an enemy jet. I want to unpack this, unpack completely. This will be an enemy, and I'm pretty sure that we should be able to destroy this pretty easily. It basically just doesn't need the player controller component. I think that's the only thing it doesn't need. Yeah, I think that's the only thing it doesn't need. I think it's modular enough that that's fine. The issue is these now share a material, which I'm not a fan of. but I believe if we do this, we can hit it. And now those should, nope, those don't hit it. Okay. However, that works. Okay, does that appear over or under that jet? That appears underneath it. Okay, that's good. And yeah, it appears underneath. Okay. So now we are getting the take damage message. What we need to do is we need to actually destroy stuff. So we need basically health for the units. Yes. So unit components, public float health, protected float current health, then a protected float max health, because that might change over time, we never know. Then on private void awake, say the max health is equal to health, whoops, nope, say health, and then the current health is equal to the max. Then we will say max health minus equals amount, or not max health, current health. Say the current health is equal to mathf dot min between 0, or no, actually that doesn't matter. We'll actually take this to be mathf dot max of the 0. Either take 0 damage or it'll take whatever the amount of damage is. That's basically just so that the amount can't be negative. We'll say if the current health is less than or equal to 0, then we will just die. Have a public void die. Yeah. Alright. And then we'll have a protected bool is dead. And whenever we take damage, we'll say if we are dead, then we just return. And in die, we say is dead is equal to true. That way we can only die once. Well, we can only die once by taking damage, which is fine. So I believe that will work, and then we'll just say the base health is 1. Because sure, why not? So now, even the slightest little thing should destroy it, which we won't notice because we actually don't destroy ourselves. So we'll destroy the game object. There we go. And we'll probably cause like an explosion at some point, but I just want to test this out. Okay. Okay, and yeah, that just destroyed it. Perfect. And can we destroy it with missiles? I actually don't think missiles do damage when they hit. And I also don't know why. Oh no, I guess they do. Okay. I also don't know why that appeared a little bit off. That was weird. Why did those appear over there? Okay. Let's take a look at this. Why? Okay, I guess that's because they're in, this is in 3D. Yeah, okay, that's weird. I mean, that's not weird. That's actually completely expected. Just need this to be a little bit. Placeholders just need to appear minus 0.1, like that. I think that's fine. There we go. Yeah, it's okay. I know I could do this in 2D or in 3D, but or sorry, yeah, I know I could do this with just sprite renders in 2D and layers and everything, but I don't really want to do that. I want to actually add some like depth to it in a couple ways, and so I'll mess with that a bit later. Like I want to have 3-dimensional terrain because I think it'll look kind of neat. But yeah, I got to try that a little bit later. So we'll do that. Okay, perfect. And the missiles, they don't actually need to do damage when they hit. I think it's in projectile component. Yeah, it's the on trigger enter stuff. When we do on hit, okay, so this needs to be a virtual on hit. And then in the missile prefab, we do an override. I think overrides go first. Well, these are technically overrides. I mean, they're not, but they are. And then this doesn't do any damage, we just explode. Because we're a missile. When we touch things, we just explode. Yeah, okay. So now, what I want to do is I want an explosion. So I've got to figure out how to do that. I think we're going to just spawn like an explosion object so that we can reuse stuff. So just call this an explosion. We'll say this is at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And we will add, I don't want a sprite renderer, I want, sure, let's go into Inkscape. I think we can create something that looks similar to an explosion, or, you know, that will pass for now. Go to document properties, let's not show the page border. All right. So I think we want like the star component or the star tool and maybe a 7-sided star. That's probably fine. What is the stroke? The stroke, I want that to be 1. So we can shrink this by quite a bit. The lines do need to be relatively thick. Maybe not that thick. Maybe not that thick. Okay. Oops. Let's cut that in half. A little bit thicker. Alright, that's fine. Now let's go object to path. Let's grab some of these and move them a little bit away. Like such. Something like that. And then I think if we do something, no, okay. Maybe something like that? No, maybe the spikes are just better. Maybe something like that. I think that'll pass for now. Yeah, just use this. Let me go to that. Export at 512? 512? Yeah, roughly. Alright. Actually what I want is I want a gradient in the fill. Just so that we can mess with it a little bit. Alright, so that's the stroke. We want to put fill. Go to gradient. And let us, God, how do we edit these? Right, we do edit the gradient like that. Okay. I always forget how you edit gradients. It's like that, right? Yeah, okay. So the center, why is that acting so weird? It's a radial gradient. And why does it not actually fill? This is on the stroke. Why is the fill not... Why is it just... That's so weird. Why does it not actually fill the shape? So if we set a solid color fill, that fills the shape. That does not. Why does that behave that way? It's so weird. Solid fill works. Radial gradient works. Radial gradient doesn't. Okay. So let's try to edit this. Alright, set the alpha to 1. And set the alpha to 1. Oh, okay, that's why it behaves so weird. Okay. So we set the alpha here. No, that doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't matter because we actually don't want to set the alpha at all. But it is kind of strange. I want to set the lightness, and we want to saturate this. No, desaturate completely. Yes, okay. Then we can set, what we want to do is we want to grab this, grab that, and then grab that. Alright. Now we can set the saturation independently. So I want the saturation near the edges to be a little bit more. Yeah, and then the actual radial gradient here, that to be lighter in the center. Then I think we can do that, and we can do that. Maybe that. Something like that. A little too dark around the edges. Okay, that should be fine. And maybe this is too dark, actually. I think it's too dark. I want to lighten it a little bit. Because we are going to just be basically recoloring it. Okay. And let's make this a little bit weird. And let us tilt, whoops, let's tilt the gradient a little bit. There we go. Alright. Now let us export that. Add 512, 512, yep. And I'm going to, yeah, okay. The export thing appears on the other screen, that's good. It's going to export this into here. Let's say explosion. Okay. And we can export that. Okay. And we can just remove all this because I don't need it. That is in here. This is the explosion. Yes. Okay. And we'll call that a 2D sprite. We'll say 512 is the size. Whoops, cancel. Want to apply that? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now, when something dies, we just need to spawn an explosion here. And I do not want that there. I want that on a quad. Or do I? No, I actually don't. I want that. Nope, actually that was right. Because this one will always be facing the same way. And it needs to be facing 90, like that. Yeah. Okay, and the explosion's there, cool. This needs to be at 0.95. 0.95 needs to appear above most other things. Perfect. Alright, so this is the effect. Sorry, this is the model. Model. Yeah. Okay. And so I want the color to be something like yellowish. Yeah, maybe a little bit red in the center, actually. Yeah, red in the center. And then like yellow on the sides. Something like that. We'll just spawn that for now and have it fade out of existence. So it'll fade over half a second. And that will be this sprite renderer. We actually want the fade script on you. I want you to fade out of existence in half of a second. And yeah, this will also have a pulse component on it. Oops, nope, 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 nope. Pulse component. That way it'll have a magnitude of, I guess, 3. It'll have a speed of like 10. And then that'll be across the x and the y. Function should be sine. That's perfectly okay. So yeah, that'll be the explosion for now. We'll fix it later. All right. So we just want to delete that. Okay, and now here is where we need to do the evil things with the game manager. Is that true? Yeah, I think that's true. No, actually it's not. We'll just use the... We'll just store it on the missiles. Why not? Trying to think of whether or not I like that. Yeah, it's fine. No, we'll use a game manager. Being very indecisive, but sure. This will be the game manager component. We'll use the common pattern of public static, not final, public static game manager component. This will be the instance. And then we have get, and then a protected set. Then when we actually get this, we'll have a private, or no. We just spawn this into existence, actually. I think you can do that, right? You can have a protected, so you can protected status, static game manager component instance. We'll just have this backed by instance. And we'll have a protected static void create, or spawn, I guess. So basically, if we don't exist, we call the spawn method, otherwise we return instance. So in get, we'll say if not instance, if there's no instance, then we call spawn. And then we return an instance. oops, no. Here we return an instance. All right. So if, when we do the actual set, oh my god, fingers keep going like just ever so slightly off where they want to be. All right, this, that, and then that, okay. And then in the set, we'll say on private void awake, have instance equals this. Otherwise, if instance, and we say game object, whoops, say game object dot destroy game object. We don't need this because we have we can target ourselves with that static call. And now we will return. Otherwise, we'll say instance equals this. And if we call spawn, we will say var object. Nope, can't do that. Manager object equals new game object, which to my understanding will create an actual game object, and then we'll just say manager object dot add component game. Isn't add component game manager component, and then this will basically create an instance for us of ourselves, and then that should call the awake, which should set the instance to this. So say instance, or yeah, instance equals value in this case. I think this will just work. Could be wrong. But actually this won't do us any good. Actually, never mind, this pattern won't do us any good. Yeah, the spawn stuff won't do any good. If not instance, then, or actually, yeah, just return instance. Never mind. Yeah, never mind, that pattern isn't going to help us at all. Say get protected set. At least not for what I have planned. Could help us at some point, but yeah. We won't need this. So if instance, then we just destroy ourselves. Otherwise, instance equals this. And we'll just say game object dot, or no, not game object. Say don't destroy on load. Destroy on load game object. There we go. There we go. This will work. And then we will have a public game object. This will be the explosion effect. Effect prefab. Have a public void create explosion. Have a transform, or not transform, we'll have a vector3. This will be the position. And then we will say var explosion is equal to instantiate. Oh, no. Explosion equals instantiate the explosion effect prefab at the position with quaternion.identity as the rotation. Then we will say destroy the explosion after 3 seconds. Okay, I think that will work. So now in projectile component, well, not even in projectile component, in the missile projectile component on explode, we just call game manager component dot instance, instance dot create explosion at transform dot position. There we go. That way we don't need to reference. That way we don't need to assign references to everything because they're all going to be the same anyway. And in die we're going to do the same thing. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it will actually be better in the long run. This will be the game manager. Manager. There we go. That'll be at 0, 0, 0. This will have the game manager component. And then the explosion prefab. Alright. In theory, this should work. So if I hit you, you explode. Okay, perfect. And then the missile, whenever it gets close, oh, that spawned completely at the wrong place. Interesting. Why did it spawn way over there? That's real weird. Okay, the problem is that the explosion is actually spawning with a height of 1. That's the issue. Which actually, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, yeah. What we'll do is we will spawn you, have no offset on you, so that should be fine. But I think the target has the same problem. Missile target, because yeah, this has an offset, so we probably want that. No, actually that needs to be it right there. Yeah, okay. Missile target probably has the same issue. That's why it looks like it doesn't quite, yeah, okay. It's a bit too large though. A bit too large, okay. Interesting that that doesn't, actually that makes sense why it doesn't. There we go. Okay, yeah, okay with that. I do want to check a couple things. Okay, so yeah, the issue is that that spawns so low that it doesn't, the 3D rendering makes it look real weird. Okay. But I think we can fix that. I don't remember where the target actually spawns. The target, I think it's in the player controller component. I think it tries to spawn at position, it spawns it at our Y. So the Y value here will be 0. So the actual target, this kind of reminds me of the Nintendo DS game I played, Star Fox Command. Oh yeah, Star Fox. Star Fox Command. Yeah, I've never played Star Fox, but I've actually seen a couple Star Fox games. And yeah, I think that was like part of the inspiration for... Interesting. I think that... It's weird. Why did that... What on earth? It's so weird. Alright, whatever. I think that was part of the like inspiration for the original stuff. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Well, no it doesn't. Yeah, it seems to miss the target completely. But yeah, that I think was part of the inspiration for the original. Oh, that spawns really low. I don't know why that spawns so low. No, I don't really understand why that spawns so low. Oh, it's because that has a scale on it. Okay, that's the problem. Yeah, okay, that's the issue. But yeah, I think like Star Fox was probably one of the inspirations for the original. That is part of the issue. Okay. This is like 0.15, 0.15, 0.15. And now all of that should work. Okay. Yeah, apparently Star Fox was like a really famous kind of game series. Alright, that... Need to reconfigure a lot of this stuff. Okay. So the pulse. Alright. Let's go into prefabs. Go into the target. The actual pulse should be probably 0.1. Something like that. And then it'll appear at the right height. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. And yeah, now the missile just goes right on target. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think the explosion for that jet spawned at the wrong place. So I have to double check that. Let's do that. Okay. And yeah, it's spawning at ground level. It shouldn't be doing that. Or actually, it should be doing that, but it should be spawning a little bit. Okay, it always needs to basically spawn at 0. That's what it needs to do. So in... So let's see. In the... Not effects, but... Also, I'll be leaving in a bit to drive my sister around, so I'll be missing a chunk. Your debate with Dan. Tell him I'll be back later. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him that, Reaper. But yeah, that's coming up pretty soon, actually. It's like in an hour and a half. Still hasn't gotten back to me. Did that message even send? Yeah, it did. Okay. Okay. Cool. But yeah, I'll definitely notify Dan that you'll be back a bit later. Yep. So let us think about this. So the issue that we're having is that whenever we instantiate the explosion here, alright, so this will actually be, so we'll instantiate it at, actually we can just say position equals new vector 3. By vector 3, or by vector 2, I mean vector 3, this will be position.x, this will be 0.0f, and this will be position.y, or position.z, sorry. Yeah. Basically just make sure that we only ever instantiate it at 0, or at a height of 0. That way we can control the height a little better. Okay. Now, if we go into the missile target, not missile target, the explosion, and we instantiate this at 0.95, we move this up to 0.95. The problem with that, no, that's not an issue. Okay. Yes, so now this should appear, yeah, at the right location. Cool. And those go to the right location. Cool. Yeah, the explosion's just a little bit large now. That's all. Key. So we just lower that a little bit, and then we set the magnitude to be 2. And that should work. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, that'll be real fun. Now we just need to make the enemies like fly around and actually try to hit us. They're probably just going to use a lot of machine guns, or they're probably, yeah, they're just probably going to use machine guns, probably not missiles. I think missiles are just too good, and the player kind of needs to use those. But okay, let me make this fly, I guess, in, I don't know, in a random direction? I don't know. Just in a circle? No, in a random direction is probably fine. Give me a minute. Okay. 1 second. Okay, apologies for that. This pertains to politics. Well, pertains to the stream later today, so I need to actually need to actually respond to it. Okay, so yeah, let us. Yeah, let's just have it change. Just have it change its steering patterns every minute or so, every couple seconds, I guess. Yeah, I haven't really thought much about how I'm going to do the AI, but yeah. Let us create a AI controller component. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So call it AI controller component. Yes, okay. Then what we will do is basically similar to the player controller component. Really, I think all of this, I think a lot of this is stuff that we want to, well, no, I guess we don't want to reuse this. So let's just grab this and that, and then we will grab this. Let's say private void update. Yeah, there might be a way to reuse some of this stuff, but I'll have to figure that out in a minute. So this will go not there, this will go in here. Whoa. That's not at all what I wanted to do. Alright, and so we need a public rigid body. Okay. Now that compiles. Alright. So in update, right. Alright, so we'll say public void handle or no, just run AI. Sure, that's what we'll do. Then the turning will basically be like this. And to determine the turning, this will just be random random.range -1 to +1. So it'll just randomly determine its turning. And basically we just want it to hold its turning for a short amount of time. So say public float next turn time. And so we'll say if time.time greater than next turn time, then we will reset the turning to something else. Otherwise, we'll just use the turning from the previous frame. So say protected float turning equals, or no, it doesn't need to be equal to anything. Just say turning, yeah. So yeah, that should work. So it should just turn randomly, and then we'll need to say next turn time equals time.time plus plus say random.range and I guess we'll make it hold it for at least half a second, otherwise up to 2 seconds. Nah, 0.1 second, somewhere between that. Sure. I have no idea how that's going to work out, but we can find out. It's probably going to be very erratic, which will be fine because I want to see how hard they are to hit, basically. What's our speed? Our speed is that, the rotation speed is 90. Okay. Let's see what happens. Whoop, something's unassigned. It's the rigid body. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Now, yeah, okay, there we go. It is definitely flying around. I think it's just flying straight though. Yeah, I think it's not actually turning. Now why is that? What did I do wrong? Alright, let's figure out what we did wrong here. Oh yeah, you know, if you want something to work, you actually have to call it. If you want a method to run, pro tip. Happens so many times. Alright, let's see what kind of erratic nonsense this thing is trying to do. It is very hard, it's being very hard to catch for something that's piloting itself completely at random. We probably need the player to move a little bit faster than the AI, but it's actually not that hard to hit. Okay. Let's set the speed to be 0.9. Actually, let's set the player speed to be 1.25. So we go 25% faster than any enemy. Okay. And we want to duplicate that, and we want to duplicate that. Alright. Let's see if we can hunt them down and kill them. Alright. We do go a little bit faster. Yep. But that's not hitting them. It's interesting that that appears so far away. I don't know why that broke everything suddenly. Yeah, that broke everything. I don't know why. Alright. So you die. Then where are the rest of you? Are they just like way out there? You're over there, and you're over there. Okay. Yeah, why is that? behaving so weird? Okay. Yeah, suddenly that doesn't work. Does it only work when it's in maximum? Is that what happens? No? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. None of those hit you? That's a little odd. There we go. That hit you. Okay. I kind of like that. I think the plane that I created has like a tilt in it or something. Or maybe we're just getting the problem that we had originally? No. That is definitely... Problem is that's not where I clicked. The plane that we're hitting might be too low? Is that what's going on? So in the controller here, yeah, the plane that we have is too low. That's the problem. So it's not transformed out position. It's vector3.0 plus 0 plus vector3.up. Yes, that might work. So that should create the plane at the right height. There we go. Oh, jeez, okay. We don't want these colliding with each other. That is an issue. It's a question of whether or not them colliding with you should cause you to explode. I think that's going to be too... I think it's going to be too difficult to make the enemies not collide with each other. So I think it's actually fine for all of these to have triggers, as opposed to being solid objects. I think that's fine. Like, I think this still works. Whoops. We do need to try to collide with something. And we do have the ability... Okay. It looks like we can't collide anymore. Yeah, we go slightly faster than they do. Okay, yeah, we can't collide anymore. Right. We probably do want to set these missiles to, like, target... Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, we probably want to set it so that if we right-click on an enemy, the missile will just target the enemy as opposed to the ground. Because, yeah, it would be hard to hit things like that. Also, the enemies need shadows, I know. But our shadow is kind of done in a special way, and I need to generalize it. Yeah, I kind of like this so far. Why not make collision and instant death? I was thinking that. The problem with doing that, Reaper, is that I could make it only for the player to do that. But what I'm worried about is if I make it so that the AI, if I make it so that colliding with another plane instantly kills you, then I'd have to make either the AI obey different rules, or I would have to somehow make the AI avoid other planes. Or risk the AI just, killing itself constantly. And, I don't know, it's possible. I prefer to think of it as the player just the planes just kind of know that they're gonna hit and they just kind of fly over each other. But there's also the case that what if the AI tries to kamikaze you or something? It's the cost of death for the player versus the AI is just it's too easy for the AI to, it benefits the AI too much is what I'm trying to say. Because I intend for there to be multiple AI planes and only one player. No, I mean collision with you. Yeah, I could do something like that. I might change it to that, or I might try it that way at some point. But for now, I think I'm just going to leave it so that they don't collide with each other. But yeah, I might try... That might be like a hard mode thing. Like, that might be... Yeah, that's probably like a hard mode thing, right? Like, if you collide with anything, you die. Yeah, that'll probably just be reserved as like a hard mode thing. But I do like the idea. Like, I was thinking it, but I just didn't do it. I do want to mess around with some terrain. I do just want to check out what happens with the terrain. But yeah, I like the idea of like collision being instant death, but I just don't know if it's too hard or not. Yeah, I want to look at what the terrain would look like with this. Apparently very glitchy is the way that it looks. I don't want you to be... Okay. Whoa. Wow, I like the... Wow, that was really weird. Okay, so apparently that really screwed with OBS. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I had not noticed, but yeah, apparently the lighting generation there just started really chewing up CPU cycles. That's crazy. Oh, I bet you that's what did it. Call the medic. Yeah, the sound should be back now, so it looks like it is on my side, so tell me if you can hear this. Okay, okay, good. I was worried for a second. Yeah, I think it it generating the lighting just took everything out. That's crazy. It's just crazy. Terrain width really only needs to be not even 1,000, probably just 100 by 100, right? And the terrain, really, that's 100 by 100? 20 by 20? I think the resolution might be a little bit too, or not large enough. So 128, okay. So basically we just want the terrain to be smaller and more detailed, as opposed to larger and less detailed. Okay. Okay. The opacity, let's say at 1. Okay. That's a little bit better. Maybe that's too much detail, actually. It might be a little too much. Let's look here. Maybe not 128, maybe only 64. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think the lighting is what does it. I think my computer just can't handle the lighting. Okay, so that's roughly how that works. Alright. So we want the razor lower, set the height to be 0.75. That'll just be default. We want the opacity to be like 1. Wait. It's 2. Oh, the height to be 0.7. Oh, okay. Minus 0.3, really, is what it should be. I think there's a way that you can do this. I think there's an easier way to do this, but we're going to do it this way for now. Actually, no, we're going to look for the easier way to do it. Actually, we can just set the terrain at 0.3. Never mind. That'll just be easier. Or minus 0.3, I should say. Okay, that should be better. And now, I don't want to set the height anymore. I want this to be local. I want the height to be at 0.5. No, they shouldn't be set height. They should be raise and lower. Whoa, okay, that's a bit much. Opacity at 0.2. Okay. Okay. I'll smooth this out in a minute, but I just want to see what this ends up looking like. Smooth. Opacity at 1. Huh. I don't know why that doesn't. Sure, blur direction at 1. No? Okay. 5. Doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, 100? There we go. Now it's doing something. Not much, though. Yeah, I'm not used to the terrain tools in Unity, so I don't really know how to make this work. Sure, we can set the height. What is that at? 0.5? Yeah, okay, that'll work. We'll just set the height like that. That's fine. I just want to actually, no. Let me set the height to 0. Just wipe all this out. Then we'll set it to 0.5. Just create little island-like structures here. Yeah, and then we will raise and lower a little bit. Make the brush size maybe 3, and then the opacity like 0.1. Okay, that's not going to work. Sure, something like that. And then let's just see what that looks like. Let's see, can we smooth the height to make this a little bit more? 100. Yeah, that does smooth it a little bit. If you want to make mountains look better, shrink the space you're using and go over mountains again to add peaks. Oh, okay, so like shrink the brush size? Okay. Yeah, I just want to get, yeah, I'll probably do that, but I just want to get like a baseline for what this is going to look like. A new material for the terrain collider. Oh god, how do I do the... This is trees, this is paint details. It's a terrain collider, right? What is it you paint? So let's create neighbor terrains. I don't want to do that. Forgot how you paint textures on this. This is paint details, paint trees. So it's gotta be paint details, right? Edit details? Add grass texture? Please assign a detail texture. Sure. Just be the water texture. Okay. Is that... Whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's not at all what I had wanted that to do. Huh. That's very interesting the way that works, but no, that's not at all what I wanted that to do. Alright, remove that. So that's a tree. So do we... Oh, stamp terrain, right? No, not stamp terrain. Paint texture, that's what we do. Right, so that's terrain layers. So that doesn't do anything. Okay. Is it new brush? No, it's not a brush, it's an edit. Is it not edit terrain layers? Create layer versus add layer. Sure, create a layer. Sure. Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Oh god. Alright. Just not familiar with the terrain tools at all. Alright. Is there no way... there no way to do a color tint on this? There is. Okay. Let's tint this like a brownish color. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe not that color. Let's tint this, I don't know, a yellowish color? Yeah, more like sand. Okay. Well, let's just see what happens, because I want to see. Okay. I actually don't hate that. I mean, it's not great, but I don't hate it. If the texture were a little bit better, it looks weird because the actual, it looks super weird because the water is moving at the wrong speed. That's the problem. Just need to increase the actual speed itself. So actually, how do I fix this? There's the scroll speed, if it's 1, that might fix it. Yeah, okay. Scroll speed is now fixed. And with that, that should also be fixed. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a huge, I don't hate that much. I mean, it's not great, but I don't hate it. I think it could be made to look actually pretty decent. And if we fix the shadows, of course. We need to increase the player speed as well. Actually, the jet, how fast can we make the player go before it gets untenable? We set this to 2, and then we set the water speed to 2. This should actually look fine. It does not. Interesting. Oh, okay, actually, I know why it doesn't. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, so that speed has to be set to 1. This is not completely untenable either. The shadow does vanish. Now that's kind of weird, but there's reasons for it. Yeah, I like it. It's better than I could draw, is the reason that I want to do it this way. And plus, I just wanted to see the blending of 3D versus 2D. Plus, we could make mountains like really high, and what could happen is if you go over the really high bits, you could just crash. It'd be so mean, but you could do it. Yeah, I kind of like that. I have to find a better texture and a better color. But yeah, I think we can make that work. Yeah, I don't know. I like how the shadow it's kind of late. I know why it is. It's because it's actually copying position as opposed to, it's copying it, but it's kind of late. Yeah, okay. I think I will take that. And it's about 30 minutes before I have to resolve some technical stuff, so I'm going to call it here. But thank you guys for watching. We'll be back at 1:30 Central. No, yes, 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern for some politics. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll probably do a little bit of this game dev stuff later, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you for watching.